I'll give you something to think about. Say you're outside a convenience store or supermarket. What do you think you're gonna see? Vending machines? Ball machines? Or maybe a coin-operated ride? Machines that would activate when putting money into them. That would give the person sitting on it, supposedly a child, about a minute or two of movement. These things have been around since the 1930s. They symbolize a more calmer, simpler time, and they end up getting auctioned off for a great deal of money. Some of them don the faces of our favorite pop culture icons, and some of them are just clowns. And yes, you can imagine that's why I made this list. This is the top 10 creepiest coin-operated rides. The studios of old school Hollywood had its mascots, and Universal Studios was Woody Woodpecker. Even if you haven't seen one of his cartoons, you're familiar with the obnoxious sound he makes. And yeah, they made him into a kiddies ride. And I'm not talking about this cute firefighter one. That's fine and all, but the one that will make you do a double take will be Woody's plane. It looks okay apart from the bird himself, along with his penguin buddy, Chili. Just this very strange gazing into the void. Some call this the 1,000-yard stare, others LSD, me, just good enough to get on the list. When I say superhero, who's the first person who comes to mind? Well, I'm going to tell you who should. Superman. He's like the first ever modern superhero, and he's still as marketable as ever. And when the ride was made of him, it wasn't what people were expecting. Well, at least I wasn't. Instead of there being a vehicle, the point is you've got to sit on Superman almost like he's giving you a ride. There's something really weird and unnatural about it. Almost like we are turning Superman into a magic carpet. And I think the expression on the Man of Steel's face says it all. Again, some of these look well done and others look like mechanical monstrosities, and you wonder if this was done on purpose. Well, this one was. Take for example the see my work but not me artist known as Banksy. The best way I can describe his work is like stunt art. And one of the biggest accomplishments he has made is his own amusement park. Or better yet, Bemusement Park, Dismaland, where we find this poor misfortunate dolphin ride, showing off the troubled hazards of the marine mammal sea life. Yeah, I know this is meant to be pretentious, but you can't help but feel sorry for him. From DC Comics to Marvel Comics. Presenting the Incredible Hulk, he's Stan Lee's answer to Jekyll and Hyde. His shtick is easy to understand. When he gets pissed, he gets green and big and goes by the philosophy that everything must get smashed. Which is a fitting theme for the ride what we see here. All it is the Jolly Green Giant himself destroying a mobile sub-automatic containment unit H1. But what kind of ruins it is, again, the face. That could only be described as the most intense O-face ever. Now most of these on the lists are usually characters we already know. Apart from maybe this one. I'm kind of lost for words here, but this one picture is all we have to go on. What is this unusual creature from China supposed to be? It has rabbit ears and what kind of looks like a mask. And it's sitting on a log. Is it some obscure mascot or some mythological creature? Whatever it is, I feel a little unsettled to put my kid on the ride. I actually thought the lines coming from its hand were claws. Would someone please be a hero and tell me what this is in the comments? Thank you. One of the most popular franchises for these things are the charming steam engines from Thomas the Tank Engine. And it makes sense. There's Thomas, James, Henry, Koko. Wait a minute. Wait, who's Koko? Well, I guess he's not a part of Thomas the Tank Engine. Someone out there wanted to make a clown train. You can imagine that this isn't going to be the last clown on the list. But after seeing this image, he might not be the creepiest engine after all. Pokemon. So many of them. Or even too many of them. And we got so much merchandise from them. And the electric mouse himself, Pikachu, perfectly fills out that job. Now there's a way of doing that right, and multiple ways of doing that wrong. The one we see here is probably the most disturbing. With its black demon eyes and, well, demon mouth, it even looks like a bootlegged version of a bootleg version of Ash's best friend. And what's worse, there are probably more out there of them. Our next entry also comes from China. And again, I'm not sure who it's supposed to be. All it looks like is just some friendly wolf with a big scar. He looks really happy to see us. He might not look intimidating, but this one does. More deranged, disturbing version of it. There's less quality to it, and it almost looks like it's being crudely painted, with a death grin and "Are you serious?" eyes. As I said, Koko wouldn't be the first and last clown on the list. While researching this list, I found so many clown rides, and each one will make you feel more uncomfortable than the last. So it was kind of difficult to choose which one, until I found this guy. Instead of sitting with one, you're sitting on one. This would create an awkward childhood memory where you're face to face with this thing. It might not be as grotesque as the others, but you just pray that you don't win a staring contest with it. And I've got to end with number 1 with another clown-themed ride. Again, this is one of those times I wish I can tell you more information about what's in question, to ease the suffering of ambiguity. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, all the words for this picture is damn. A clown giving you a joyride into hell. This is like an image to an unscary creepypasta. If you're listening to this, then you've experienced 10 creepy things you take for granted, or you just skipped ahead. Whatever you did, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.